lovelies! We are here today with a video I have been wanting to make for a very long time, and I have had a few requests to do this video as well. We are here to go over Ilmsea Command Center. Ilmsea Command Center is just an amazing mod. I have been using Ilmsea Command Center for years now. Like, if you are not a big mod user, but you would like to get into it, this is the mod that I would recommend. If you could only install one mod and that is it, like you don't want to be updating your mods all the time because of the game updates, so you don't want a lot of mods, this is the mod that I would recommend above every single mod out there. There are so many people out there that would actually refuse to play The Sims without this mod. It's just such an amazing mod, and the work that was put into it was insane. It's been out for years now. Pretty much you can do almost anything you want in your game with this mod. There are so many options and so many things you can do with this that I don't even know everything that you can do. I don't use every single option in this mod because there's so many of them, and I'm sure there's things you can do with this mod that I didn't even know you could do. I've been using this mod for years now, and I know I do not know everything about it and everything that you can do with it. There's just so many things you can do. I am still learning all the time about a new feature that has been in the mod for years that I had no idea about. I thought I would make a video to show exactly how I use the mod. Maybe there's something in there that you didn't know that could be done, or maybe you just want to see an overview of the mod itself and see all of the options and have them explained. But this is a giant mod. I would probably say this is the biggest mod that you could put in your game, but don't let that scare you away. It is easy to use. There is just a lot of options available to you when you install this. So when you install this mod, you will get a pop-up over here saying that it has loaded in. Now, just so you know, I do have an extra module that I have added to mine, which is Ilmsea Woohoo. This is a separate download that you can get from the website. I do have it because I like the options available in it. But we are here with the Goth family. We'll be testing this mod out here with them. As I do on all of my mod reviews, I have pulled my entire mod folder. The only thing in it is Ilmsea Command Center. There's no CC, there's no buy mode, there's no defaults, there's nothing. It's just Ilmsea Command Center. Now, I have already bought them a computer and put it upstairs. There are multiple ways to mess with Ilmsea's settings, but I mostly do it all from the computer. But there's plenty of other options when you click on the mailbox or your sim. But how I primarily use Ilmsea Command Center is right here through the computer. So you would click on the computer and you will have this new option, and we will click it, and we're going to go over some of the settings. So the first setting we're going to go over is the Ilmsea CC settings. So the first option is autosave. I know a lot of people got Ilmsea Command Center just for the autosave. You can set up all kinds of settings here. You can give your autosave a name. You can tell it how often you would like to autosave. You can have a confirmation. So if you want the autosave, but you're scared of it saving at the wrong time, you'll get a pop-up saying, would you like to autosave now? And you can hit yes or no. I personally do not use this option because I have gotten into the habit of saving pretty frequently, so I don't use this, but it is an amazing option to have. So the next one is gameplay settings, and there's some pretty good settings in here. So the first one is adopt neglected child. Now, I've never had a social worker take away one of my kids before. However, I do have mine set to enabled anyway. Pretty much what this means is if you have a kid and the social services take it away, it's like the game deletes the kid. You can never get the kid back. You can't go to a new family with the kid and play as them and see them grow up. It like almost deletes them. They're nowhere to be found once the social worker takes them away. And that doesn't really make sense. So instead, what happens is an NPC in your game will adopt the kid instead. So if you wanted to switch over to that household and continue playing as the kid, you can. And, you know, I feel like this should have been in the game from the beginning. It's just one of those features that's like so obvious that it should be there. This is defaulted to disabled. That's what this little image right here means. It means that that was the default option, but mine is set to enabled because I want that option. You can change your fame difficulty, so you can make it a little bit faster to get fame or slower. This is one that I personally do not use and would caution, but the option is here. So what this does is it can make your days slower. So if you ever feel like you have your Sims go to school or go to work and then come home and there's not enough time to do anything, they do their homework, and then, you know, next thing you know, it's time for bed, and you just feel like you don't get enough time in the day, you can make your day go by slower or faster if you want. But I have heard that there are some glitches to go with this. So I have personally never really used this. So I'm not really sure if there actually are glitches or not. But I do know that this is an extremely popular option for a lot of people. A lot of people use this so they can feel like they have more of a day with their Sims and they can do more. You can change your maximum household size right here. So I left mine at 8 because there are times I will play my game after an update and I'm scared of this option messing with my families. But pretty much what this does is you can increase to a maximum value of 104. What this means is that you can have 104 Sims in one household. That is insane, but it's amazing if you want to do some kind of challenge or something of that, or if you're doing a machinima and you would like a big cast, you can have up to 104 Sims and control all of them, just like you would your 8 household member. You can change your motive decay. So you can go in here to sim motive decay and you can make it where their needs just decay slower. They're not going to be as hungry as often. They're not going to need to sleep as often. This would be a great option to go along with extending your days out as well. You can also make it faster. I mean, if you really want your Sims to struggle or if you want to give yourself a challenge. And you can do this with all of them. You can do it with babies, cats, dogs, your fame, vampires. It's pretty detailed. You can pause on zone. I know a lot of people use this one. So the moment you get to a new lot, it will automatically pause for you. So if you want to leave during a loading screen or something, you can come back and safely know that your game is paused when it loads. Skill difficulty adjustment is a really good one. Some people feel like getting a skill is too slow. Well, you can speed it up here and make it faster. You can even make it slower and make them really struggle. So this will make like your cooking skill go slower or faster and through your levels. You can use a random aging, which is a thing that I do. When you have newly generated Sims, I don't like them to be generated all at the exact same age. So instead, this just kind of gives them a random age. So instead of being a young adult at 0 days, it will randomize it and make it a random amount of days inside of the young adult stage. So that way everybody ages differently. Not everybody is the same. From here, we will be going to money settings. This is a favorite of mine. You can allow children to pay your bills. That way, if you get a bill and your parents are at work, the kids can still pay the bill. You don't have to wait for them to come home. You can change your apartment bill percent, so you can make it cheaper or more expensive. This one is one I personally use. I love this one. Okay, so I cannot tell you how many times I have forgotten to pay the bills. Like, I don't know what it is, but I always forget. I'll get the notification saying, hey, the bills are due in your mailbox. And it always happens when my Sims are at work and then they get home and I have forgotten all about it already. So I always end up with no power, no water all the time. And it's just really annoying to me. So instead, I have this option as enabled. It is defaulted to disabled. So you will have to change this. And when the bills come into the mailbox, it will just automatically deduct it from the household funds. That way I don't have to go to the mailbox and pay it or anything like that. It's just auto pay. It's perfect. It's out the way. You don't have to think about it, but you will get a pop-up letting you know that it has been auto paid. But if you do not have enough money to pay it, it will also let you know you don't have enough money to pay this. So this is a really, really convenient feature. You can turn on child support payments here, and I do have it on. So they will be billed 1% of a parent Sim's value for my child support, but you can make it real brutal and make it really high up there. So pretty much if you have a kid and you are not married to the mother in my game, you will have to pay child support, which I really like that touch of realism. We have inheritance. This is actually one of the main reasons why I got this mod, because I don't always leave all of my family Sims living together in one house. So when one would pass away, the kids would get nothing, and I didn't like that. So when that happens, instead, you will inherit money from the Sim that has passed away. So if you're playing a legacy family, but you don't necessarily have the grandparents living with the main family, you will actually get a little check when they pass away. But that's only if they do not have a spouse. The inheritance actually goes to the spouse first and then to the kids. But if you don't like that, you can disable it here. So under notifications, console, and menu settings, I use these options pretty much every single time I play my game. Under console command settings, I use almost all of these. Almost. Pretty much, I have a horrible memory when it comes to remembering cheats. And I don't remember what a lot of them are. And I don't like having to type them in all the time. So if you come here, you can turn on each of the cheats that you could manually put in, but instead it will automatically turn it on for you. So like enable full edit create a sim. As soon as you load into the game, it's like already has it all enabled. You don't have to type in a cheat code. I have testing cheats already enabled. I have move objects on already enabled. So you can go here in a build by and you can enable any cheat code you want that's available natively in the game, but it will just do it all for you. So you don't have to remember all of the cheat codes, which is so nice for someone like me who does not remember all of them. Under notification settings, I pretty much have all of these as on. Pretty much it lets you know everything that's going on in your game. Somebody gets pregnant in your game, you'll get a notification. Somebody gets married, you'll get a notification. They'll tell you like the name of the two people that got married together. If somebody dies in my game, I'll get a pop-up notification saying, hey, this person passed away. And it just kind of lets you know everything that's happening in your entire save without having to actually play those families. And you can completely customize it. Under show marriage notifications, you can change it. So it's defaulted to none. And I have mine personally set to all, but you can change it to only friends or only Sims you've currently played. You can change it to active romance only, so only people that you are actively in a relationship with. It's very, very detailed. And you can do the same type of notifications for all of these. But I love the notification settings. I have been using this for years because I like to know what's happening in my game. I do not personally use this, but I know a lot of people hate the phone texts. You can go here and just turn them all off. Or you can only get the festival text if you want them. So back in the MC settings, you can go here to relationship settings. And this one's actually really important to me, which is relationship culling. So if you've ever had a very large family tree and you bring up the family tree and you'll start noticing that people's portraits have disappeared, it can be kind of devastating if you're on like generation 6, 7, and you can't see your founders' portraits anymore. You can't even see their names. You can't see anything about them. And it's really quite sad. What that means is that relationship was cold. EA is pretty aggressive on the relationships that they call, and I don't like that. So I have it where it bypasses that. So let's say you're a rotational player and it takes you a while to get through all of your rotations. Well, by the time you get back to your very first play household, sometimes your Sims will have forgotten family members or even friends. If you choose this option, your Sims will no longer forget their friends. And I understand why EA calls everything to make sure that the save doesn't get bloated and just too big, but I really prefer them to keep my active Sims relationships and not delete them. This is another very popular one, set age span duration. From here, you can choose how long each lifespan for each life state here. It's really helpful. So under young adult, the default value is 24, but you can put this anywhere you want. And this is great for people that like the normal lifespan, but think it's just a hint too short and the long is just way too long. So you could come in here and put it at 30 days or even 1,000 days if you wished. It's really versatile and it's just a game changer. It's really great. You can even change the life ages for your cat and dog. But that is everything under MCC settings. Next is MCCAS, but I will admit I do not really use this module very much. So if you do use this module, let me know down below how you use it because I'm really not sure how to use this one. Under MC Career, the only one that I really use here is the school homework progression. I have it where their homework is completed just a little bit faster. I feel like doing homework is a little too slow. So I have mine at 1 just to make it a little bit faster so they're not spending hours doing their homework. And you can actually do the same thing over here over university homework. So MC Occult is a pretty good one. You can go here to aliens and change your abduction settings. So you can actually make it happen more frequently if you want. If you've always wanted abductions, but you feel like they're a little too rare, you can bump it up and make it more likely to happen. Also under pregnancy settings, I have mine changed to allow both female and male because I didn't want the female to get left out on this. So I have mine set to both. So that is a thing that you can change in here too. You can even change how likely it is for your sim to get pregnant. So the default is 30% chance, but if you want absolutely no pregnancies at all from an alien abduction in your game, you can turn it off or you can make it 100. So every single time they get abducted, they will be pregnant. And if you don't like abductions at all, you can turn them off. MC Population pretty much does what it says. It controls the entire population. So you can have your moving settings. You can allow people to move into houses, move out of houses. You can move out just your elders from all of your households. So if you don't ever want to play as elders, you can do that. You can specify how many houses you want available to be moved into so people won't move into them. There's a lot of stuff you can do right here, but I admit I don't use this module that much. Population settings is a pretty good one. If you go in to your settings and you just feel like there's not enough toddlers in the game, you can change this to a higher number like 30 and the game will start generating more toddlers in your game. And you can do this with any of the life states. But the most important one to me is right here, import tray settings. I love this setting. I found this setting about 2 years ago and I've been using it ever since. So what this does is say you have a lot of Sims that you have added to your library, whether you have downloaded them from other Simmers or you have made them yourself, you just have a lot of Sims that you really love in your gallery library. Well, what you can do is instead of having randomized townies in your game, you can have the game pull from your library instead. So there will be no randomized townies in your game. So what I do to achieve this is I can import Trey sim percent, and I have this set for 100. So 100% of the time, all sims are going to be pulled from my library. Now, if you don't want that, you can change it to like 50%, 90%, 80%, whatever you want. But I like it to pull 100% of the time from my library. Now, if you do that, it is important that you go here to include clothing. For some reason, it is disabled by default, which pretty much means that it would pull your sims from your library and then give them randomized clothes. And we don't want that. So make sure you go and click enabled right here. That way the sim, their clothes, their makeup, all of that will come with them. The next important setting is import sim name. I have it where it should skip a sim if the name already exists in your game. So if you download from the gallery Bella Goth, but yet you already have a Bella Goth in your game, it will skip that sim and you will not have that sim imported. This is so you do not get duplicates of sims running all around your game. You don't want 5 of the exact same sim with the same name and the same clothes running around. But yeah, that is how I do it, and I get such beautiful townies. I'm always going through the gallery. I'm always downloading people's sims, and I always have gorgeous looking townies in my game now. I don't have the eyeball ring. I don't have the weird makeup options. I don't get any of that in my game anymore because it's always pulling from sims that I have downloaded on the gallery. So this is a really big deal for me, and it's actually one of the main reasons to have LMC Command Center, for me, that is. And a lot of people have no idea that this option is here. You know, it's hidden away. It's not very clear what import tray settings even mean, so a lot of people overlook it. So LMC Pregnancy module is a giant thing. This is your story progression, pretty much. If you have neighborhood stories and you feel like it is too fast, everything happens too quickly, I highly recommend to turn it off and get LMC Command Center instead because it's completely customizable. One of my biggest complaints with neighborhood stories was if you had kids or adoption or both turned on or pets, you would end up with a house full to the max amount of sims because it seems like every single person would immediately adopt, have kids, and have pets all the way to the max. And it was actually quite annoying to me that I would load into a house and it would be just full of babies, brand new babies. And that really annoyed me. So you can actually go in here and go to offspring and choose maximum offspring. So I have mine set to 2. That means nobody in my game that's not played by me will have more than 2 kids. And this way you just have a bit of control over it. You can control who marries who in your game. So down here I have valid marriage ages and I have it for adult. So elders, young adults, and obviously teens will not be getting married in my game because I don't want all the young adults to just suddenly get married and then my sim has nobody to marry. You can change how many people in your game are married here, which is nice. You can have it bypass your played households, which is very, very important because you don't want to play as a family and then come back to them later and find out your sim has married somebody. So this is enabled by default, which is what you want. Most of these settings are going to be where you want them by default. There's really not much you need to do in here. You can just throw this in the game and then let the story progression handle it. But all of this is going to be pretty much your story progression, how quickly you want it to run, if you want it to run at all. I mostly leave all of mine on default settings and it works wonderfully. There's not really much you need to do in here. I do have LMC Woohoo. Now this is a separate download from the website and I mostly get this because I like them to do it on their own, so I don't have to tell them to do it. But also the main reason why I got it is because I use risky woohoo. So during a regular woohoo, there's a chance to become pregnant and it will be a complete surprise when it happens. and I like some surprises in my game, so I do have this. And that is really it. That is all that I really use out of these settings, which, as you can see, I'm not using probably even half of this mod. There's so much you can do. But there is one other thing that I love using MC Command Center for. I hate having to apply glasses on each and every single outfit, the makeup on each and every single outfit. So what you can do is you can shift click your sim and hit MC Command Center, and you can go down here to dresser, and then there's a copy and paste. You can hit copy, and then from here you can copy her makeup, her accessories, her hair, her outfit, whatever you want. Let's in this case go to copy makeup, and then you can go right here and click paste makeup to all outfits. So you only need to do your sim's makeup once, and then you can carry it over to the rest of their outfits, which is so good. I'm lazy and I don't always remember the exact pair of glasses or the exact eyeliner that I use that I would like to use again, and it's kind of difficult to get everything on every single outfit. So this fixes that for me, and it's just a complete game changer. There's also a lot of other things you can do in this menu. You can tell your sim to do something, you can cheat. There's all kinds of flags you can put on them, like you can flag your sim as immortal so they will never age. There's just a lot of stuff in here. But yeah, that is MC Command Center. If you only want to use one mod and that is it, this is the mod. It is insane what you can do. I didn't even go over half of the things that you can do with this mod. I just went over what I personally use it for. But let me know down below if there's other ways to use this mod that you use it for. I'm always finding out brand new things that I had no idea this mod even did, even years later after using it. It's just so complex, and it's really easy to overlook certain options and never even know that they were there. But let me know down below how you use this mod, or if you're interested in using it. And let me know about any other mod that you love, that you could not play your game without, that you absolutely adore, and I'll check it out. But until then, I hope all of you have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.